Team Lightning McQueen. A very small Team Lightning McQueen. This is McQueen's team at the beginning of the first Cars movie, and although he did have several other pitties like My Name Is Not Chuck, they left him within the first 20 minutes of the movie, and Mattel didn't even bother to release them. So let's get into today's suggestion video. Thank you for suggesting this Team McQueen, Sharon, Corrigan. I really do appreciate it, and I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Sorry if I did not. And if any of you are interested in suggesting something yourself, the information on how to do so is in the description below. Please read carefully. And if you're interested in suggesting something on your birthday, your exact birthday, also, the information is down below. So let's get into today's suggestion video. Sharon Corrigan wanted me to essentially review these three cars here: Lightning McQueen, My Name's Not Chuck, and Mack, which is the team McQueen had at the beginning of the first Cars movie. And like I said, My Name Is Not Chuck and the other pitties left him, so it was him and Mack. He didn't even have a crew chief at the time. So McQueen was pretty bad off, and basically getting thrown out of Mack's hauler and ending up in Radiator Springs was the best thing that ever happened to him. So here we have the well-known Lightning McQueen, and this is actually one of the newer versions as it has flat eyelids there. There's no depth to it. I don't personally mind at all, and they're doing this to all their cars nowadays, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just really totally do away with the whole raised feature there. They're just trying to save money. That's Mattel logic again coming at you. So obviously we all know what McQueen looks like. Rusty's medicated bumper ointment decals along here. He's got his sponsors right there. His Lightyear tires, red rims, his 95 ball. He's got his signature above the window right there. And this is one of the obviously newer versions, like I said, that has the Rusty's logo on the spoiler there. Some of the very early versions of McQueen in the first 3 years, basically, that he was released, did not have that logo there. And on the back here, we just see Rusty's medicated bumper ointment along with another 95 decal. So that's all for McQueen. I know you guys know what he looks like. So now we'll move on to My Name Is Not Chuck, who this version here was released in 2015 in the Piston Cup series. It was actually a very nice release. I was very happy with it because it was kind of new, kind of old, but I did want to pick up one to open and one to keep in the package. So as you can see, he's got that little gun there, which is the main difference from this new version and the old version that was released previously back originally in 2008. Then in 2009, I believe he also was released in some sets like the set with McQueen, Mack, and Chuck here, and then he did not get any releases. So you can see the differences there. Color in the fork is a lot different. The expression is a little bit different. It's basically the same, except for the fact that the new version has bigger eyes, and the eyes are blue, which I don't know why they do that. Somehow, My Name Is Not Chuck can change the color of his eyes, which, man, I wish I could do that. On the side here, we have the same decals, the little ball, Rusty's 95. A little bit difference in the coloring there. It looks a little bit more vibrant on the new version, but other than that, they are the same placement and all that stuff. Nothing on the back here. On the top, it just has 95. And the same logos on the other side there. So, you know, the main difference here is this little tool gun, which I actually really like. It's nice and detailed here. Now, the old version came with a tool chest here, which is very nice. It had 95 on the sides here. Nothing on the front, but just 95 on those two sides though. Now, I believe, I'm not 100% sure on this, but when I originally bought Chuck here, it could have been an error, but mine came with this tool chest here, and that's the tool chest that ended up coming also with pit crew member Guido. So I believe, this is my just a theory here, is that the early releases of the Chuck here that was released way back when originally had this tool chest, but then eventually migrated to the tool chest that the new version has, where the 95 is just on the front and not on the sides there. Now this version came with a small, short, thin stack of tires, completely inaccurate to the movie here. As you can see, Lightning McQueen's tires are light year, and they're a lot bigger. If we could focus here, sorry about that. So as you can see, very inaccurate, but thankfully Mattel ended up actually correcting the tires a few years later. So we do have now a little bit more correct tires, as you can see, but it is lacking the Lightyear logo, but at least they are the correct size. Now both of these have these little indentations, if you can kind of see that there, and that's where the fork is supposed to go. And now I mention this every time I review a pitty with tires, is that it's not realistic at all for the fork to go into the tire, puncture it, and just that would deflate the tire. I mean, come on. I mean, it doesn't even really look good for display, because it honestly looks like he just stabbed his fork in the tire and is just driving along with it. I personally prefer these new tires here because, I mean, if he did not have that little tool gun, you'd be able to place it on the forks here and actually make a pretty cool display out of it. But of course, since this has the tool gun here, you cannot do that. Obviously, does not fit. Actually, it might. That's a little unstable there, but you can put the fork into the little slot there and carry the tire around. So I honestly hate that. I don't know why Mattel does that. I just not a big fan at all. So here's the tool chest. I kind of talked about this before. They're basically the same except for the placement of the 95 logos there. So that is all for My Name's Not Chuck and his previous release. I personally prefer the new one 100% better. 100% better in my opinion. Now here we have Mack, McQueen's hauler transporter. And now Mack basically gets released every year. And last year he got a re-release, or I should say a new release, with a headset and the gas cans. And this is Pick Remember Mack here. So pretty cool. This is his first ever release. We've been waiting for this one for a long time. But in 2016 he is reverted back to his normal version in the Rusty's Racing series. I kind of showed him in a deluxe case unboxing a few weeks ago. So now let's take a closer look here at the Mack hauler. Now the Mack hauler itself, entire hauler, gets released basically every year, exclusive to Walmart, so definitely not that hard to find at all. There are plenty on the pegs at my local stores, so definitely if you live in the United States and you have a local Walmart, this is probably pretty commonplace to find. So now Mack has a nice happy expression on him. He's got a nice medicated bumper ointment logo up there, 95 with the bolt. On the back here, we got two Rusty's logos on the mud flaps there. The license plate reads Rusty's 3, I believe. So it's missing the last E, but instead they replace it with a 3, which is pretty cool. I like that. Now let's move on to the trailer itself. We got some pretty nice decals on the side here. He's got all of his little sponsors here spaced out, which looks pretty nice. A nice picture of Lightning McQueen with lightning coming out of him. Just some of the basic decals we've seen before. Some more lightning decals on the back there, and a little bit different. I believe this is different here. Actually, it may be the same. I feel like the figure of McQueen there, or the movement, just looks a little bit different. Doesn't it look different, guys? I feel like it may just be like flipped around. That's probably what I'm thinking here, but it's been a long day, guys, so I'm sorry. So now let's open Mack here. Actually, yes, it is definitely been a long day. Mack does not open from the side, guys, so be careful you don't tear off one of the sides, because he actually opens from the back. So you could fold this down here, right? You could fold it down, yes, you can. And there's also a little support underneath that you can fold down, so you have a nice platform there for McQueen to drive on up into. Go in there, and then theoretically you could just push this back in there. Of course, you'd have to fold up that first. I always forget to do that. But inside the hauler here, we don't have much at all. No detailing, just a little bit of a texture there, and then this little gas pump or whatever that may be. I don't really know. So that is all really for Mack here and the other members of Team McQueen early on in the first Cars movie. Thank you, Sharon Corrigan, for the suggestion. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope everybody did as well. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday for a review of the Carbon Racers 4-pack. I promise this time it will be the Carbon Racers 4-pack. I promise. So I'll see you guys then. Hope you enjoy. Bye now.